Hello YouTube, it is the Earl of Pipes here, and I'm coming to you on a pleasant Thursday evening from the great state of Louisiana. And tonight, as you probably already saw from the thumbnail, I thought we would smoke a little Frog Morton on the town, or the frog at the opera. Well, so Frog Morton, if you don't know this, I'm sorry to inform you, but all of the McClellan, and McClellan was the manufacturer of this tobacco, tobaccos ceased production early in 2018, I believe, somewhere around February, March. And Frog Morton and the whole Craftsberry line, I believe that's what they were called, was made by McClellan, and so it's no longer being produced. Now, this tin that I have here, it's actually still a sealed tin, as you can see. I've got a mason jar of some that I opened probably November, December last year. And so my history with Frog Morton, and I kind of shared this on the Frog Morton replacement video, was that if it weren't for Frog Morton, I'm not sure I'd still be a pipe smoker. I had tried aromatics, didn't like them. I would, for a brief moment in each smoke, I'd go, hey, that almost tastes like what it smells like. Then there was some English blends I tried. So I tried the Dunhill lines, and I tried, and I liked them, okay? But I'm not sure I liked them enough to stick with them. And actually, I've never ordered another tin of Dunhill tobacco. They're out of production now too. But I know that many people loved them. So I had tried 965 and Nightcap. But what I found when I had Nightcap, as I opened the tin, it smelled horrible. It smelled like a burnt tire. And but then as I began to smoke it, it was this lovely, sweet, fragrant thing. And then I ordered some Frog Morton because, well, I was on smokingpipes.com or was on pipesandscigars.com and had run upon Frog Morton and decided, well, I want to try some of that. And I did, and I bought some Frog Morton, and I tried some Frog Morton Cellar, and I loved them. And I was hooked. And that was about the summer, August of 2017. And so as I progressed, I probably went through maybe 200-gram tins of Frog Morton. I was smoking it pretty heavy. I was sharing it very liberally because I felt like I'd really found something, found a jewel. And then about this time last year, October, November time frame, I tried my first Frog Morton on the town. And to say that I was pleasantly surprised would be an understatement. Now, it tastes very similar to the regular Frog Morton, but it's got a little extra something, a little extra spice, some darker flavors. And if you've followed my my little lives at all, you'll find that I like English blends that have some of those darker, richer flavors, not the high notes. I like the dark bass notes, right? So so it was something that pleasantly surprised me. And so that's what we've got tonight. I'm having a hard time keeping it lit. I didn't really dry it. Well, again, that's a common theme you hear from me. My take on pipe smoking, it's probably not the best. And that went out. But my take on pipe smoking is you smoke when you can, how you can. And if that means that you didn't get a chance to dry your pipe tobacco, but you only got 45 minutes to smoke, maybe you just have to relight a few more times. And one of my favorite things about this blend is the tin note. So not only do you get the Latakia, but it's very subtle. So subtle that I'm tempted to think that it doesn't make up a good portion of the blend because it's subtle in the smoke and it's subtle in the tin note. But what it's got is that, that Frog Morton has a little bit of sweetness, natural sweetness in the tin note. And this has got that plus like a vanilla smell. Not too unlike Frog Morton on the cellar. But it's got that nice little sweet note. When you first light it up, you just get that sweetness. And you get that little bit of Latakia. You can taste the Virginias in there. They're good, dark. I would guess that they're red Virginias that McClelland's known for. They're not really bright, high, citrusy. And the flavors I pick up are like molasses, right? In that it's a dark, sugary flavor. And then you got the Latakia in there as well with a little bit of spice. And as you go along throughout the bowl, that sweetness stays, but the spice kicks in a little more. And I would say that that's the Orientals. If I didn't say that before, this is an Oriental blend. So it's got Basma, Virginia, and Latakia. And so I would say that Basma, and if there are other Orientals in there as well, they kick in and they just provide a nice little extra little kick on this. Now, like I said, sadly, they canceled and McClelland's shut down in the spring of 2018, I believe. I was fortunate enough to be able to stock up on some Frog Morton on the town at Christmas, and I stocked up on some regular Frog Morton. And so I've got a stash that it won't last me my whole life. But at the rate that I'm smoking, might last me a decade or two. And that'll be good. I'll be happy with that. But for those of you who've never tried it, let me give you some word of advice. From what I've seen, you can find it on eBay. People are willing to part with their tins. As hard as that is to believe that you would be willing to part with tobacco that will never, ever, ever be made again, there are people who are willing to do it. So if you're interested, I tell you, go to eBay. But here becomes the question. Is it worth paying an exorbitant price to have a tobacco that you only get to try maybe once? I've seen two 50-gram tins like this on there for $40. That's the current bid. I've seen others at $55 for a 50-gram tin. I've seen it anywhere. My basic take on it is if you're going to pay more than double what it originally cost, which it was I believe it was a $9 to $10 tin when I bought them, that I think you're probably paying too much. Now, everybody's got to make their own decision. So, if it's a limited time item, could you justify a splurge on it, especially if you tried every other Frog Morton, but you've never tried this one and you're willing to spend the $55 just so you could try it and you got the extra $55. No, nobody's here to tell you that was wrong. But in my opinion, it's still a tobacco. It is a very unique tobacco that I don't think you'll find anywhere else, although Shepherd's Pie comes very close to the original Frog Morton and not too far from this, to tell you the truth, because Frog Morton and this aren't that far apart. But there are other tobaccos out there. There are other Oriental English tobaccos. Are any of them as sweet as this? No, they're not. But there are others to try, and in my opinion, your money's better spent there than chasing a memory of something that's never coming back. I love McClelland's. I love their Virginias, and I was late to that party, but I'm glad that I was able to store a little bit away. Their 40th anniversary. Best Virginia I've ever had. Well, that's my smoke of Frog Morton on the town. It's a great little smoke. It's sweet. It's spicy. It's just dang good. If you like Frog on the Log and you're willing to spend 40, 50 bucks for it, pick yourself some up. If you can find it for $20 a tin, I think that's something willing to try. Heck, some people are selling current stuff that's not going out of business for $20 a tin right now. That makes no sense to me either, but hey, I like a good deal more than I like an experience. Maybe I'm a little strange. Anyway, this is the Earl of Pipes. Y'all have a good evening. I hope you have a great Thursday smoke. See you around.